Okay, my drive home from the grocery store after running errands and whatnot. Yeah, that's uploaded. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, we've had a weird day. It has been a weird day. I went in at 11. They cut the job short because the ground was all messed up. Yet there's always one individual on every job that creates chaos. Every single job. It may not even be the finishing crew. Um, we had it was a job we were doing. Yeah, that place. It was straight up shit show clusterfuck. And it wasn't even the finishers. The finishers were great. I'd show up and the guy would be blowing me kisses and we'd be fist bumping through the window and we'd be like, and I'd be mapping it out and he'd be like, watch her, whatever she does, just don't crowd her. She'll get it on the ground. Just, yeah. I had like 3 fans on that one and shit went smooth. We have a QC that I absolutely love. I've mentioned it before. He has not been out on this job. He needs to be out on this job. There's a few jobs. It's like he needs to be out there for the first 3 or 4 pours to get the finishers acclimated to how we run. And then he can go back to doing whatever he wants to do starting at 8 a.m. That's how it needs to run. And while he's out there, he needs the QCs that are going to be out there proctoring the entire thing, following him entirely. Now, we do have one manager. He goes out there and he's pretty chillax and he does not get involved because he knows that we know what we're doing. But earlier today, he had messaged me, or he had called while I was pouring, and kind of gave me the skinny that shit went down at a job. And I'm almost thinking it was, it's hard to explain. All right, we got, it was a new account, right? And shit was crazy. They gave us this laundry list of shit. Turn your lights off, right? Now, there's some jobs, like we did this great big warehouse up in Scottsville. They wanted rules. Turn your hazards on as soon as you drive into the property. I always forgot, but I tried to remember. Yeah, they didn't go crazy over it, but that was one of the things that when we pulled up, the guy would meet us at the gate and he'd be like, and he'd tell us where they were pouring at, because it was huge compound. He'd be like, don't forget your hazards. And thank you, because I'm a flake, right? This one, they, light discipline and all this other stuff. Well, they got it all squirrely one night. I mean, it was cray. In my opinion, and I've been through some cray shit, but this was cray. And everybody was getting lost. Everybody was not turning in where they needed to. The whole thing was, it was a 3-ring circus. Anyway, when we finally got our rhythm going, and everybody was on the same sheet of music, when I initially got there, and I pulled up, and I'm very light sensitive anyway. Sorry, PTSD. I do not like someone having their headlights on for absolutely no reason whatsoever when we have a gazillion light kits blinding the fuck out of us already. If you've got your lights on a pickup truck and you're not in it, or it's parked, what the fuck do you need them on for? There was absolutely no reason for this shit. And they were on brights. Yeah. I had said something to the guy on the ground. I said, can you get somebody to turn them fuckers off? Because I rolled up. I got light kits all around me on the pad, right? I'm rolling up onto the pad. And it is literally 12:30 at night, like literally just midnight, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, and I have my shades on. And he's like, what the hell? I was like, them headlights need to go. If you can make that happen, that would be wonderful. Here's my ticket. He's like, I'll let him know. Well, I get up there, I get done pouring, I come back out, the fucking headlights are still on. I was like, they ignored you, didn't they? And he's like, yeah. I was like, well, and then I yelled it. Apparently, light discipline isn't a priority, is it? And the guy got up from his chair, and he went over and shut his damn lights off. The guy on the pad who was supervising the trucks, helping our QC, got ignored. I was pissed. But did I yell at him and call him names or anything like that? No. I plastered the facts in a jestful manner to make shit happen, because the guy he's got in charge of collecting our tickets and doing the inventory of what loads have gotten delivered and yada yada literally got fucking undermined when he voiced the concerns of the drivers. I'm one of the drivers. If I gotta turn my lights off, so do you. One, we need to turn our lights off anyway because we roll backward. And when you're rolling backward and you got headlights or a flashlight or anything of the sort in your mirrors, you are blind. If they're behind the doghouse and your camera, it blinds out your camera too. Because I have reverse cameras on my truck. So it's common sense. Period. It's just common sense. And it's respect. You know, it's kind of like, one hand washes the other. You want us to come in and do a good job for you. But at the same time, you need to respect the drivers, the responsibility of the drivers, the equipment, and the quality of the job. And there's a lot of contractors out there. Like when dude called me earlier and said, yeah, we just let 2 people go because they got into it with one of this contract. And, the big guy got involved. And I'm like, you need to listen to your drivers. I know the manager, they're stressing because they're, that was a big contract and I think they probably lost it. But you know what? Do you really want that? It's kind of a catch-22. Think about it. If this contract is so big that it's going to threaten your assets, so it's going to cause accidents. Your drivers are going to be miserable. They're getting verbally and emotionally and psychologically abused on the job. The job site is a dysfunctional shit show. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Now, when dude called me earlier and I sat there, I'm sitting there thinking, we had one great big warehouse job. It's kind of I'm hoping I don't go over minutes. I'm going to try to keep this under 30 minutes. It was a huge warehouse job. And halfway through the production, they fired the entire finishing crew. And they brought in new people. And before the finishing crew left, we had gotten like PR with them, right? So the one guy come up to me, he said, yeah, they didn't renew our contract. You guys are going to be getting new people in. He said, but, we are, we're going to be picking up on this other job. We're getting contracted with this other job. So if you run into issues for whatever reason, you just, name drop us, for whatever. And I was like, hey, I got you. But damn, what fucking happened? He's like, I don't know. We either cost too much or somebody underbid us or, whatever. Anyway, so then halfway through this fucking warehouse, we had to deal with an entirely new crew of finishers. Even the superintendent was different. So the first night we didn't have our one QC out there. And I was out of it. It was in the thick of the abuse kind of shit. And I ended up calling up dispatch and I was like, I know I don't deserve any favors. I said, but this is a collective issue. We need our QC out here. We need to obtain some kind of PR with these fucking people because they've got us running circles. It's so disorganized right now. He's like, tomorrow he'll be out there. I was like, I'm like, and if I disappear for a minute, I'm sleeping. He's like, I got you. Right. But anyway, long story short, we had to obtain confidence, respect, learn their nuances, learn what they, and it's basically the same fucking job. It just, their attitudes toward us were completely different than the other people's. The other people's we've worked with for, 80,000 yards already. And they didn't renew the contract. So now we got these new people. And every job is like that. We get on these new sites. And unless we're familiar with the people that are actually finishing it, we run into personality conflicts. Now, the one that we were working on, where it was completely clusterfuck, and that poor guy that was on the ground collecting tickets, I even gave him an attitude. I was like, dude, you're being petty right now. I can't. We need to get this done. Because we spent an hour and a half. I'm not, it's not your fault. You are not in charge of that aspect, but I'm just giving you the skinny. You all wasted an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, trying to get your laser screen set. And he was like, oh. I said, do you realize how much yardage that is? He's like, no, not exactly. I was like, well, considering the distance that we have to travel and how many trucks that we have, I said, you're looking at about 120 yards. Wasted time. Now we're having to deal with traffic because the longer it takes us to get this shit on the ground, time's a ticking. And it's not, we don't do this shit in the middle of the night because it's cooler. We do this shit in the middle of the night because of traffic. Obstacles. Oh, yeah. It takes me 15 minutes to get here at midnight. It takes me 30 minutes to get here at 8 a.m. Oh, that's the difference. Now I understand. Yes. So apparently, shit hit the fan last night. Dude calls me. Says, I'm giving you a heads up. They're cracking down. And I was like, I can usually pacify most of my conversations if I speak to the superintendent. It's like, listen, if I need the shoot, I'll put it on myself. I don't need your guys thinking they need to help me because I have breasts. That's the first thing. Second thing, I've been doing this longer than they've been doing that. And third, I am the captain of this freaking truck, and if I want my chutes on, I'll do them my damn self. Your guys don't need to be touching my truck. Well, we're just trying to speed it up. I said, there ain't nothing to speed up. I can set the cruise, I can hit the water, I can get out, put the chutes on, I can slump and shoot and check my meter and back up and move and do whatever the fuck it is I need to do. I do not need your finishers' help. Your finishers are here for one thing. I put it on the ground, they move it around. That's it. And he was, because I almost got kicked off a job one night. And he was like, you yelled at my guy. I said, he didn't need to be touching my shit. He was helping you. I didn't ask for his help. Where we're just trying to speed it up. I said, I didn't need his help. I have fold down chutes. What do you mean? I said, I have 2 chutes already embedded on this truck. All I have to do is pull a lever and they just unfold. Well, they need a 3rd one. I said, I will put that 3rd one on if I need that 3rd one. I will put 4 on if I need the 4th one. Depending on where I am located on this pad and those bumper posts and yada, yada, yada. Yes, I am not opposed to putting chutes on. But if I'm in an AO where I do not need them, I am not wasting my time putting them on there. And I'm not wasting my time trying to wash them either. I said, you need to respect my professionalism as what I do. And this was back when I was like 7 years in. And I even told him, I said, I have 7 years with this company. 7. And I'm the first female they hired after probably 20. And I'm the only one who's lasted more than fucking 2 years. If I want your help, I'll ask for it. If I need help backing up, I'll ask for it. But I don't need your guys thinking that chauvinism is dead and they need to rush to my fucking aid. I don't need your help. I got a boyfriend for that. He's right there. And he don't even help me. I said, I'm going to go back and get another load, and I'm going to come back here, and you guys need to leave my truck alone. Don't touch my chutes. I'll do them. If I need them, I'll do them. Finishers have damaged my chutes. That's kind of half of the reason I'm kind of petty about it. They bent the flange on them, so then they don't ever fit right. Because they get on there and it's like, they shift left and right. And then they try to slam it down there, and then it bends the flange, and then they never fit right, and then they leak, and they get dirty, and yeah. My chutes are nasty anyway. I just hammer them. So he's like, man, your chutes are so dirty. I said, oh, they'll be clean in a minute. Hang on a minute. And I take a sledgehammer and start fucking playing baseball. No. It's easier to do that than freeze your ass off in the winter trying to get all little crumbs off. Let it build up to about 1/2 inch and bang the fuck out of it. Anyway. Mine are the original chutes. My truck is 2 years old. I ain't complaining. Anyway. Yeah, and they're grungy. I don't care. The guy that used to have the truck, when I got the truck, those chutes were almost immaculate. He's petty. You know, it was all for show. Everything on the outside was immaculate. You saw the fins and the turntable. Oh my God. Dude. Anyway, so the guy that called me earlier, he was just like, yeah, I just want you to be on you know. I was like, he's like, I think we might have lost that account. And I was like, there was a time at band camp, and I told him about that one account. I was like, the guy, like, literally, I heard him through the window. He called me a stupid bimbo. And I went back to the dispatch, and I was like, that motherfucker. And when I went to go wash down, our finishing crew, or not a finishing crew for footers, they were digging ditches for a job, right? And I was friends with him because we ride motorcycles, and I know the biker, MC that he's with, right? And the other guy that I pour driveways with, all of them were there at the same time, and I'm washing down, and they're and he's like, hey, yeah, we're gonna be starting this new section up here, and yada yada yada. And he's like, what's the matter? And I was like, that motherfucker. And I'm venting, right, about this group that they had hired just to do the sidewalks on this one road outside of the subdivision, that footing people and that flat work finisher were contracted with, this production builder, right? So they hired this third party in there to do that, and it was basically an interview job. And he was like, what happened? I was like, that motherfucker, he called me a stupid bimbo. He didn't even think I could hear him. They don't even tell me what fucking slump they want. Every 5 seconds, they're adding like 20 gallons of water. The shit was like a fucking 9. And you know what? He wants to measure dicks with me. I can assure you, my cup size will always be bigger. That's where I got it from. I pulled that shit out of my pocket that day. And these 3 guys are laughing. They're like, you are a fucking... I said, I am so fucking mad right now. That motherfucker up there, I was going off. Well, anyway, all 3 of them ended up calling the office. And when I got back, I was like, that stupid mother... I was like, you want to know what he called me? He was like, oh. I've never seen that account on our books after we finished it, that job. And then we were with them for about 3 days. Yeah. It was like 3 days in a row. We were doing like 40 yards, whatever. And, yeah, it just goes for saying, we've had some really shitty fucking contractors, and we've had some really asshole finishers. Now, the contractors are cool. The guy in charge is like, yeah, they're just assholes. Just, deal. And I'm like, I ain't gonna deal. I said, because if he insults me one more fucking time, we're gonna have an issue. I've had ones where I poured for them the first time, and they just had a shitty crew. And they had me going kookadook. And I even said to him, I was like, I'm sorry. The attitude, I'm like, they're treating me like I'm incompetent. I'm going to pour like I'm incompetent. I said, but, yeah, if you have me come back, something else, different people, I might pour different. You got to have confidence in me, or otherwise I can feel your vibe. I'm just not. I just don't play that game. I said, I'll slow the drum down, and I'll trickle out, and we'll take 30 minutes to get this shit off my truck, because I will count the rocks as they hit the ground. He's like, you really know how to do that? I was like, yes, I do. And I've done it just to spite them. And then they're like, so I hit it full blast. And what do you want? Do you want it fast? You want it moderate? Or do you want to count the fucking rocks? Usually I pour everything on a 2.5. So over the 10.5 years, I have earned a little bit of PR with most of the contracts that we have. There's some people, they like me, I hate them. Honest to God, they asked for me, and I'm like, oh God, I hate my life. Yeah, right. But they know that I'm not gonna make a mess. And then there's other ones I have absolutely no idea who they are. And my dispatch would be like, I'm sending you my girl. And they'll be like, girl? He's like, no, trust me. You talk to her like she knows what she's doing, she'll show you she knows what she's doing. You start undermining her, she will pour like a complete ass clown and make your life miserable. Just, I'm sending you the best. When I say I'm sending you the best, I'm sending you the best. Yeah, because I can slow my drum down. And yeah, I can sign my name in concrete. I did it once on a fucking slab. It was so funny. Oh my God, this guy was like, all I want you to do is just haphazard it so I can lift the mesh up and lay it on top, right? And I was like, okay. So I put my initials on the ground. He came up to me and he just high-fived me. He was that was awesome. I was like, if it was bigger, I would have said, I was here. That's great. That's great. I was like, yeah, I got you. He's like, yeah, put it down thick so I can get the mesh to set and then wet it up. So it'll, I was like, oh yeah, good idea. Cool. Yep, so I signed my name. That was actually a good day. He was probably loaded up on drugs. Who knows? Who cares? I meet so many different personalities, but the point is that every job has at least one dickhead. At least one. And the worst thing is they are a dickhead to you until they realize you know what you're doing, and they soften up, learn your personality, get to know you, and then yeah. I went to one a few months ago. The guy was a complete douche. And he aggressive and angry. And I was like, listen, you calm down. It's just concrete. This ain't gonna move along any faster. This is gonna go as fast as I get empty. USA. If you're getting angry because you don't like the way shit's going, then you're in the wrong job. I don't get angry at the job. I've literally gotten out and helped finish. Because the situation was fucking stupid and they needed help. And I've yanked the rake out of somebody's hand because they were exhausted. It's like, move. Take a break. I got this. Fucking get out and do both. It is what it is. This is concrete. I'm not opposed to getting out, stepping in concrete, and helping guys finish. I had a fucked up truck. It had a weird ass bowl on it. The controls were psychotic. And when I discharged it, it literally, giant dinosaur turd. I felt so fucking bad. I was like, ah! They heard me scream. And they were just started laughing. I was like, oh my God, a stupid truck. And I backed it up. And I stopped the drum. And I got out and I grabbed the rake from the old man that was out there. And I was like, move. And from that day on, that finisher, the dude, he always had like this, like, he was kind of like side-eyeing me. From that day on, he was like, we got it all leveled out. And I said, I ain't sorry. This fucking truck is psycho. And he fist bumped me. He's like, damn, you know how to finish. I was like, yes, I know how to finish. Why do you think it's like, I try to be compassionate, at least a little bit compassionate. for these finishers because it's hot as shit out there. That is the hardest fucking job in America, I think. Outside of sewer cleaning. Septic. Having to deal with the smell. Finishing concrete. It is murder on your body. And these guys do it day in, day out. So I have a lot of respect for them. But when I'm on night pours, and all they have to do is like kind of tap it into place because they got a manual screeder coming out. Yeah, they need to chill. You need to find your fucking USA. Get it on the ground. That machine will move it around. Everybody needs to take a chill pill. Breathe. Lot less attitude. I mean, shit. I'd be out there dancing in the grid. I don't care. You know, I love my job. I love what I do. And I am not opposed to getting out of that damn truck, yanking a rake out of somebody's hands, and fucking helping them out. So, I have yet to do it on one of these industrial pours. I'm going to one day. And they're going to be like, shit. Stop undermining these drivers. That's what they got to do. They got to stop undermining us. A lot of us know more about their job than they do. We've got guys that are on this fleet that have been doing this 20 years or longer. They've seen it all. I'm 10 and a half. I got a guy, he's been driving a truck longer than me, and he finished before he started driving. He used to work with the dumbass batch guy that is at the plant that I fucking boycotted because he's a dickhead. He used to finish concrete. That guy used to pour for his crew. Yeah. We got an old ass bunch. We know what we're doing. We don't mess around. So, if the contract's pissing off some of these drivers, our management, who is new, who has not been here 10 years, they need to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, who the fuck is it that got pissed off? Is it the rookie? Or is it the guy that's been doing this 20 years? Little diplomacy might need to be in play. Y'all have a great night, a great weekend. I'm going to get off here because I'm about to run out of time. I hate this damn phone. It's the old one. All right. Peace out, y'all. Be safe.